Thank you, Misha. Anywho, hi everybody. Hey Pika. Hey Misha, Lala, Joanna. I only had time to figure out how to make one mod. For now, it doesn't really matter when we only have 164 subs, so it's not that big of a hey. My girls are here. Nadia, Jamie, I appreciate you, all of you. Hey Donna, yay, you can hear me. Yeah, I accidentally had myself on mute while my lead-in was playing. Do you guys like that? I really dig it, but if anyone thinks that I should do something else, let me know, because I am always open to ideas and trying new things. So is the sound quality good? Am I talking loud enough? Yeah, mute happens. I'm just grateful that I caught it before I went on for 5 minutes, because that would have been kind of embarrassing, wouldn't it? We are going to have a bit, yes, streak over to the like button. Pika is our streaker, and we love her for that. We may be getting a raid from Chase the Heat, as I know Johnny was doing a live, and he said that they may all come over here at the end. So I'm super excited about it. Also, I did, if anyone didn't read that, I checked with Will, and he said that if he does go live tonight, it won't be till at least 9 p.m. Eastern. So I am okay. I'm going to try not to go over an hour with this. Probably 2 reasons. One, people have a tendency to lose interest, especially if it's a really serious topic. And also, it's probably going to be emotionally draining on me, because it's evening. This afternoon, this morning, wherever you're watching this from, because I have friends. Yes, just pretend that everybody has a wrench. Everybody has a wrench. I'm not worried about anybody that's going to come in here, though, because I have a lot of really great friends, and I'm super lucky. I know you are. And I'm not even afraid to cry. I'm not afraid of any of that. I'm just, obviously I've already put a decent chunk of my story out there. I do have to do some more follow-ups on my personal journey. I had 89 wrenches appear on the wall. 89 wrenches appear, mess around, we'll take your shit down. 99 wrenches are hanging. I screwed it up. I screwed it up. Oh, I know you can, Misha. You ain't messing around. I know. And I love you guys too. I'm just kind of giving it a couple of minutes and chatting to give some more people a chance to come in. Hey, Kat, good to see you. So anybody who saw my my thumbnail, well, not my thumbnail, I'm sorry, my intro video that I've been using, do you guys like that? Kind of like a detective story kind of thing. I thought it was kind of cool. I don't. You know what, Donna? It's interesting. Let me put this comment up here. I think it's kind of important. I want to speak on this. I love wrenches too, Joanna, because you can throw them at people in self-defense. I actually have a big old one hanging on my stairwell, not because I want to throw it at somebody, but as a piece of art. But to this statement that Donna made, I want Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna play. Maybe I'll play it on the outro as well. Um, I just went through a period of probably about 2 months where I couldn't cry at all. And during that time, five people that I cared about very deeply died within 4 weeks. Two of them on the same day, and it didn't matter. Nothing I did or nothing that happened to me made me cry, and it was really weird. It was really uncomfortable, and and then I watched this movie one night called what's the movie called? This Is Where I Leave You, and it's from 2014, so it's an older movie. Jason Bateman, I just adore. Adam Driver, Catherine Hahn, Jane Fonda, really, really, really good movie, and it ticked every emotional box that I was feeling, that I've been feeling, and all of the things, and I just bawled through that whole movie, and then I, I couldn't stop. But then now it's gone away again in this last week, and I think I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed by that. And let's see what Pika said here. Donna, that's actually understandable. I'm like that sometimes. I don't want to cry because I sometimes fear I won't be able to drag myself out of that. I get that too, because I'm sure, like some of us, I can get crippled in my tears. There's our tree hugging Buddhist. Gosh, I missed you. And it's okay to just listen. Don't worry about it. Misha says it's hard feeling numb. Sometimes it builds and builds. One day, when we least expect it, purge, cleansing with the tears flow. Yeah, and if anybody knows anything about that, it's Misha. And I send you my love, sweetie. Okay, so I think that we're good to go ahead and and start getting into my records. So a little preface. Don't worry, I can't hear you eating, so it doesn't matter. And even when I can hear you eating, it doesn't matter. I'm fine with it. I'm going to preface this by saying that I was in 3 troubled teen industries between the ages of 14 and 18. And this particular record, this 191 page pile of filth, was from the first place that I was sent to, called Fairview Deaconess Hospital. Just so you know, though, Misha, it is spelled Gude. It just happens to be somebody's last name. You didn't know that, though, so it's totally cool. This report is from Fairview Deaconess Hospital in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I was sent to at age 14. Can you guys give me a second? I'm going to plug my Ethernet in. We're having a storm right now, and I want to make sure that nothing messes up. So if you could just give me 1 minute, I'm going to do that, okay? I appreciate you waiting. Okay, is that a better connection? I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but it was giving me a low Wi-Fi connection, unstable. But I love it when you streak. Why would I say anything? You're funny. Okay. Are you ready? Still a bit blurry? Yeah, even with me being plugged in, I think that I just think that it's because of the storm. I'll do the best that I can, and actually kind of don't mind if I look a little blurry. But that's just my own, silly insecurity. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. It's what it is. It is what it is, right? And it ain't what it ain't. So we're going to just roll with what we got. And what we got is receipts. You're beautiful. Thank you. So let's do it. Okay. Thank you, Misha. And as always, I send you the love right back. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And while I'm reading, while I'm reading this, I'm going to not be able to see the comments. So I'll take occasional breaks because I have to, and so that I can read the comments, because I need to make it full. You know what? No, I don't. Forget it. All right. This 14-year-old Caucasian female who is in the 9th grade and living in suburban Detroit, Michigan, was admitted to 5 North for evaluation of possible chemical dependency. You notice that this is May 22nd, 1985. Hi, Psych on the Rocks. It's really good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you. Thanks, Misha. It's brave, but it's necessary, because the fact that so few people even know what the troubled teen industry is, let alone how horrible it is and how long that it's been going on. I don't really even feel like I have a choice in the matter. I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to speak out. I feel like I have to share, because if I don't, who's going to do it? Like I said earlier, nobody else on YouTube is even doing this. Now I'm going to talk to a couple of other survivors. I also am going to be having, we haven't set a date or a time yet, but I'm going to have Liz Ferris on. For those who don't know who Liz Ferris is, she's an ex-Scientologist, and she grew up in Scientology. So she went through their version of troubled teen industry programs, or school, as they call it. And we're going to talk about her experiences. I'm also going to be having Meg Applegate soon, who has a self-titled book called Becoming Unsilenced. That's coming out on May 7th. She is the founder and CEO of Unsilenced, and she is thanked for really helping me find my voice and my bravery. So no, we're not going to restart my computer right now. That's completely inappropriate time for that. Okay. Patient claims that she requested admission herself and was concerned about 3 years of drug abuse, primarily alcohol, marijuana, and speed. Now, thanks, Lala. Appreciate you. I didn't admit to any of those things. I'm going to be doing this throughout because it angers me. And I probably read this 50 times already, but yes, please like the live and subscribe if you like, share if you like, and if you don't like it, you can give me a thumbs down if it doesn't bother me. And if you don't mind also to share a comment after the stream is over, and I'll come back to that at the end and remind you, because I've been reminded that I need to do that. Okay. So it says that she is using daily and has been involved in behaviors that are unacceptable to her. Family reported many features typical of a drug abuse syndrome, with the patient generally incorrigible for at least 2 years, extremely angry and difficult to deal with in the family setting, often stealing from parents, late to school habitually, truant frequently, and with marked deterioration in grades. She has run away once, had some police contact in regard with this, but otherwise has no formal police record. Patient associates with peers that are heavily into drugs. Now, hi, Anit. I just want to say something about that. My family situations at the time, my parents were divorced when I was, my dad left when I was 5. They were divorced by the time I was 7. My dad got custody of me. I lived with he and his mother, my grandma, Madeline, and that was very difficult. That's a period of time too, much like before I found out last year from the last podcast on the left that the Trump teen industry existed. This whole period of time I had only ever explained to anybody one sentence in regards to 4 years of my life. And I would say, I was sent to rehab when I was 14, but I didn't have a drug problem. And because I didn't really remember anything. And I didn't know how to search, once all this stuff came. I don't know how to search. I mean, I look back on my old WordPress, and back 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I used the term troubled teen, that I was a troubled teen, but I didn't know to put the word industry after it. And it just, it's just one of those things. I don't know. I've had some fellow survivors shame me over not realizing before I did, but whatever, that doesn't matter. My family situations were very difficult. My dad married his second wife when I was 11. She was about 14 years older than me, I believe. And she was very nice. But she came from a completely different background than me. She grew up on a farm. She had a ton of chores. I lived with my dad and my grandma. My grandma didn't allow me to do chores because she didn't feel that I did them right. And I kind of understand that now, because I was an only child for 14 years, and I had a tendency when I was a kid to get really frustrated with other people who didn't play like I did when I was alone. But so I'm living with my dad and stepmom, and oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my computer keeps growing with me. All right, so then I told this story before, but I stole this special silver $5 bill that was worth a bunch of money. I didn't know that. It was in a jar, and I kept replacing it with other $5 bills from my dad. I'm not saying that I was necessarily a good kid, but when you're neglected and ignored as a kid by everybody because they're so busy with their own lives. I mean, when some of us grew up, they used to have a public service announcement that came on every day at 10 p.m. asking you if you knew where your children were, right? I don't remember, a whole lot of like loving and nurturing after I was 6. And even before then, because, bad things happened to me back starting at 4. Anywho, I'm going to do this, and I apologize. I blame it on my ADD, or as kids like to call it now, ADHD. So my dad kicked me out. He called my mom and he said, "Get your daughter before I kill her." So I went and lived with my mom, and they weren't married, but her man at the time, and my sister, who was a year old. And my mom's ex was he was an alcoholic, former Marine who served in Korea. He would just say his favorite drink was a Manhattan, and he never had a dry glass. And he was a big pew enthusiast, and was very bad and hurtful. So something happened. Some things I'm not going to get into because my 15-year-old niece does know that this channel exists. So, but this stuff is okay. Anyways, so I moved back. My mom has to leave that house, so I have to leave. Hi, Jay. Hi, Nadia. I'm happy y'all are here. So I have to move back in with my dad and his wife, and their marriage is on the rocks. They're having problems. I'm not helping. I know that I wasn't helping. I know that I was very difficult. They very much believed that it was all on purpose, that I was trying to sabotage their relationship. It's in these records. I wasn't. I just wanted my dad's attention. I wanted my dad to show up to things when he said he was going to show up to things. I just wanted to, attention. And then, when you want attention, what do? You start getting in trouble, or you get in trouble once and you get attention, and then you're like, oh, okay, so this is how I have to get attention. Okay, that's awful way to get attention, but I mean, I'll try. So all this stuff about my family settings and all that, I was having difficulties with that. And then I ran away once. I was late for my curfew, and I decided not to go home because I already knew at this point that I was being sent away, and I didn't want it. But I was sold a lie. I was told that this place was resort-like, that it was a perfect place for me to go to get away from all the troubles within my family, with both parents and everything, and give my parents some time too. And then when my dad and I arrived in Minneapolis and were dropped off, we were dropped off in a hospital. Yeah, I did. I wanted to, yeah, let me just put this up here because I did. I wanted to be seen. Negative attention is attention. Exactly. And unfortunately, once it starts, it's really hard to stop. Yeah, you act out in order to get attention. You are not at fault because your childhood decisions. I would hate to be held to the stuff I did as a kid. Yeah, same. I'm also super glad that smartphones didn't exist nor social media when I was a kid because yikes, that would be like awful. Okay, so parents were divorced when the patient was about 6. And I thought I'd say about 6. My parents' divorce was final when I was 7. Father was remarried, patient quite angry and resentful about this, and has rather actively sabotaged the relationship between father and stepmother to the point at the time of admission, the parents had separated and planned divorce. Right, because a 14-year-old child can, in 3 years, destroy a marriage. I mean, seriously. I did stuff. I stole from my dad. I smoked. I drank. I did things. I was acting out. I was lost, but I wasn't. Really, legitimately not trying to break up their marriage. They stole an opportunity for me to have gone and lived. My mom moved. I was born in Texas, but I was born during the Vietnam War. I was born in Fort Hood, Texas during the Vietnam War. And then when my sister was born 14 years later, my mom had, this was pre the incident with her ex, to get away from him, the company was moving to Dallas. And to get away from him, she went so she could keep her insurance and have the baby. And then we had planned for me to visit. And then at the time in Texas, the age for a child to be able to say which parent they want to live with was 14. So I'm 13. Sorry, I was 13. So we were going to file for change of custody in Texas, and I was going to stay. And then my dad could have his marriage. If they wanted to have more kids, they could have more kids. I could visit. We would be good. Well, they found out about it and I got grounded, and that never happened. And that's what set me off. It wasn't their marriage. It was that particular incident that set me off. That and the fact that my father allowed my stepmother to physically discipline me with his belt. Okay. Physical examination, routine labs, blah, blah, blah. Psychological testing indicated Shipley Hartford scores in the average range. The MMPI reflected a good deal of rebelliousness, impulsivity, poor judgment, and psychological turmoil mixed with pictures of anxiety, guilt, and remorse entwined with her acting out behaviors. McAndrew's scale was elevated and definitely consistent with chemical dependency traits. One time I smoked a joint that was laced with PCP, and so stupid. Clinical mental status. Clinical mental status revealed the patient to be a small-statured, rather sour-looking young female who is alert, oriented, and coherent. I want to read that sentence because it's hilarious to me. I have something that has been called by my lifelong friends as the look, which is, but I'm just like, it really looks could kill. The look could kill. But I want to read this again. Clinical mental status revealed the patient to be small-statured, rather sour-looking young female who is alert, oriented, and coherent. She manifests no sign of thought disorder or serious mood disturbance. She appears to be a very angry girl who struggles to control her tendencies to irritability. I'm my father's daughter. What are you going to say? Many parents are not aware how their children are being. Yes, this is a fact. Most. I'd be willing to say most, because I also consider my father to be a victim of this as well. As I said earlier, the parents are the customer. They're the people that these industries are interested in. They want their money. They just use their children as a product, as a unit. It's pretty disgusting, but it's a fact. Okay. Data that accumulated during evaluation clearly substantiated the substance abuse disorder, and the patient was given this diagnosis with a referral to short-term inpatient treatment. The patient was subsequently transferred to treatment where her progress was very poor due to lack of motivation and continual turmoil over various interpersonal issues and conflicts with staff. She appears to be an extremely immature girl with a strong, stubborn streak in terms of her resistance to do anything that she doesn't want to do. That's funny. I laughed even the first time I read that. In addition, she appears to have a rather naturally grumpy disposition, which is also a significant handicap to trying to deal with others and her many feelings and reactions to their relationships. Patient's progress was poor enough that we were considering a rather significant extension in our own program, or as an alternative, transfer to a longer-term treatment program in the Michigan area. It was finally worked out that the patient was accepted to the treatment in Michigan and will be transferred there for a longer-term care. The patient appears to have the capability of working a chemical dependency program if her motivation was positive, but the above described personality traits I suspect will prove a continuing handicap in maintaining sobriety. Discharge diagnosis, substance abuse disorder, mixed. Yeah. Substance abuse disorder, mixed. No. You know what? I do. I mean, I know that I'm not a grumpy person anymore, but I will explain. In my teens and 20s, I was a very angry girl. I had more than a dozen of my friends tell me that when they first met me, they thought I was a total bitch. They absolutely just were like, I didn't want to come anywhere near you. You were, see this right here? This used to be like this all the time. I didn't have to do this. I used to be able to hold the quarters in it. But it's gone. Well, probably because I'm free, right? So, okay, so now I want to cut back. That is the last page. And I'm looking for some very, wait, what's going on? If we lived in today's world and my cousin was accidentally killed by his older brother, their father would have been held responsible. He was not. Wow, I'm sorry. And unfortunately, it is the world that we lived in at the time. And we do see you. And I love you. Hang on, I got with Pika. Nobody ever knew it was me, but the girl Michelle that I was with. I don't know what happened. Personality traits created a very long, amazing role model, brave enough to share pain to help others. I love that girl. You stood up, wouldn't just go with the flow, my kind of gal. Well, I love you too. I'm a loner, Dottie. I'm a rebel, as Pee Wee Herman would say. And I mean, I'm not Dottie, but just, talking about Pee Wee Herman. Anyone's ever seen Pee Wee's Big Adventure? I love that. I'm looking for. Wow. Yeah, talk about a 180. That's woo. A lot of this is handwritten, so it's really hard. I've tried to. Here, I'm gonna go back to sharing this to show you how it's, and some of it's like so incredibly hard to read. So okay, so this goes back to my admission. I'm trying to, and I should have earmarked pages. I apologize for being not an organized person, but I do the best that I can. So I'm going to take that back off while I look. I see that you all are bonding and talking with each other, and I am so touched by this. This is so beautiful. Listen, it's about all of us. Just because I'm telling my story doesn't mean that it's about you too. Okay? Remember that. This is our community. Okay, our community. It's not about me alone. We're just, hey Ann, I love you. We're here together, and everybody is absolutely welcome and encouraged to share whatever they feel like, but not pressured to share anything. Oh, God. All right, hang on. I don't want to scroll through these pages and make anybody who might have some sensory issue in any kind of pain. Okay, this is actually something that I wish that I could. Can't I? Oh wait, so if I, this is gonna be sideways, and I'm sorry, but I forgot to screenshot this and turn it sideways, or to switch, because it's trying to find my I was on restriction the whole time I was there, and there's a thing in here about it. And hey Janet, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Hi Shannon, I'm so happy to see you. Can I edit? I'm not. Just gonna have to deal with it sideways. I'm looking for something in particular. I'm sure this looks hilarious to you. Hey Kim, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. This makes for really exciting watching, doesn't it? Where is it? Here. Okay, so this is sideways, and I'm sorry, but it's a point. It's the most important point that I'm making in this for me. And I'll read it to you because it's sideways, and I'm really sorry that it's sideways. I'm just going to do it like this, and I will be looking over here. So actually, you know what? No, I want you to. Yeah, I know you can entertain yourself. So I was on restrictions, right? So this is as soon as I was released from evaluation, I was sent down to my unit and my care plan. These are my restrictions: no male contact, and with that, no male contact, I had to wear a sign on a string with cardboard that said no male contact on it. I had to wear it at all times. Also, if you see right here, or no smiling. I was prohibited from smiling. And my feedback must be self-related. And when they're talking about feedback, this is the circle, better known as the game from Cinnamon, which is where you attack each other. It's called attack therapy also. If anybody has watched the program on Netflix, Catherine Kubler did an unbelievably amazing job with this documentary. It didn't hurt that she wanted to be a filmmaker, so she researched this for 10 years before she did it, and I'm in awe of that docuseries. So if any, yeah, no smiling, yeah, 100%. And I still to this day struggle with smiling, and for the longest time I thought that it was because I don't like my mouth or my teeth, but I thought that was the reason. But I realize now, yeah, Janet, it is excellent documentary. There are actually 2 Troubled Teen Industry Program documentaries on Netflix. One is called Hell Camp, and that's about the wilderness camps, and the other is called The Program, and that is a, correct me if I'm wrong, 4-part series. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be breaking your heart, but I appreciate you. And listen, if this gets, oh, I meant to do this. if this gets too difficult for anybody, don't feel the need to stay. I don't want to hurt anybody, trigger anybody, upset anybody with my story. I just have to get it out. So, yes, Hell Camp, not Hello Camp. So it's Hell Camp and the program. And also so Donna, it's really funny that you mentioned that. I'm discussing that in my Origins of the Troubled Teen Industry series that I'm doing, because even though the troubled teen industry technically started in 1912, it didn't really take off until Synanon. Synanon is a key player, not only in the troubled teen industry, but also in Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard, I haven't been able to find any actual proof, and I know Jay's in here, so I'm going to say this out loud. Yeah, this is great. Talk about being labeled. Oh, wait till you see the pages upon pages of the accusations of my being flirty and manipulative and seductive. Like, I'm 14. I'm not trying to seduce people. Please. It's just mental. It's absolutely mental. I was shocked. I really didn't think that I was going to get this. And I still, from my second program, which is called Alpha House, it was in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I don't know the years that it was in business as Troubled Teen Industry, RTC. Now, I know for the last 9 years, the building is being used as a family homeless shelter, which I think is amazing. I couldn't think of a better way to reuse something so horrible than to help families in need. And that makes me really happy. And I intend, actually, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be going to Alpha House, and they're letting me come in to the building and walk around. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to record while I'm inside, just to keep the people who are staying their identity safe, but I will be going, and I'm very excited for that. I'm also going to be going to Minnesota this year, and I know I have one friend in Minnesota. I might have two, maybe, by the time I get there. I don't know. Jay, are you going to be there? There's my buddy. How are you, Chris? It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. We're going through my records from Fairview Deaconess Hospital. And I will a lot because I'm a little so we're going to start now with the intervention, they call it. So your first day. Thank you. Thanks, Pete. I appreciate you. So yeah, I'm about to read my intervention, which is what happens. Oh, you know what then? Oh, wrong one. Very well might be then, because I was thinking about going there during June, because I kind of want to go to Paisley Park for celebration, which is I know. Oh, I'll see her. Trust me. Which reminds me, I need to stay up late so that I can see her later. I owe her a message too after I get done. Thank you for reminding me. All right, so now we're gonna go into the very first thing that happened on my first day, which was the intervention. And at this point, I already knew that there was no way I was getting out of that building. I begged my dad in tears, but they just pulled me off of him and let him go. Good time. All right, let's do this. And I'm just going to leave this trigger warning ticker going. I hope it doesn't annoy anybody, but all right. Intervention, explanation, and instructions. Now this is 52285. A commonly held belief for many years was that persons who were experiencing problems with their use of mood-altering chemicals had to bottom out before they would seek or accept help. Bottoming out means that these persons have to lose everything: their jobs, their friends, their family, their values, and so on. Unfortunately, many chemical dependent persons, especially adolescents, lost their lives before they reached this bottom. More recently, those working in the field of chemical dependency have to come to believe that with proper interventions, persons can receive help before they lose everything. We do believe in intervening, and therefore we ask that you assist us in showing your child, client, friend, sibling the direction his life is taking as a result of his chemical use. I just want to point out that back in the 1980s, it was a very common purpose to just say he, him, his. It was never he, she. It was always he. Everything about kids or people was he. Even in our textbooks that I remember. If anybody else remembers that too. Okay. The best way to prepare for the intervention is for each of you concerned persons to make a list of all the fears, concerns, resentments you have about the child's drug use. This is the most difficult part because among almost instinctively, we struggle to shield those we care about from the suffering of emotional pain. The purpose of this intervention, however, is not to shield the child from pain. Together, you concerned persons must convince the child that there is severe emotional pain which has endured too long. We ask that you be specific by giving concrete information concerning times and places when and where the child presented negative behaviors and attitudes, times and places when and where you observed him using chemicals or being high or drunk. And finally, we ask that you describe as carefully as you can how the child's chemical use has affected you. Please list all of your concerns, no matter how small or insignificant they may be. Examples: coming home high, violating curfew, running away, skipping school and dropping grades, avoiding the family, legal involvement, fighting with family members, finding paraphernalia, etc. Stop it. I do know. And I'm not saying a thing. Okay. Okay. So, this is my dad's list. Okay. I want you to pay attention to how he starts every sentence. Okay. This is going to be hard for me to read. I'm still working through the feelings of this. I tried to talk to him about it recently. He asked me why I can't just let it go. And I told him that I am letting it go, but this is how I have to do it. I have to walk back through it. I have to unpack it. I have to see it for what it is, and I have to leave it behind me. That's why I'm in intensive trauma therapy every week. That's why I do this. That's why I fight. Okay. And not because I don't want to see your comments, but because I have to be able, I know I'm supported and I know I feel safe, but I have to block out the comments just so that I can read this without looking over here. It's important that I look straight ahead. Okay. Jenny, it's funny. He never called me Jenny, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. Jenny, I get mad knowing the fun you and I miss as father and daughter. Jenny, it hurts me that you do not bring more of your problems to me. Jenny, I get very mad knowing what you do about smoking or what. Try it again. Jenny, I get very mad knowing what you do about smoking and you still start it. Jennifer, I was very mad when I found out about your doing drugs. Jenny, I was very angry to find out about your drinking. Jenny, I am mad to see how bad you let your grades get. It gets me so mad when you lie all the time. I was worried sick the night you ran away. I get so mad when you skip school and class. It makes me furious when you always break your time to get home. It gets me angry when you steal from me and Sherry. It hurts me the way you treat Sherry. I get mad when you will not do your jobs around the house. He also wrote, I'm hurt to see you not take care of yourself, which he crossed out and says, I get angry when you do not keep yourself clean. I'm very angry with your part in my divorce. I was very angry when you took the car. I stole my stepmom's car when I was 13. And took it on a joyride. My neighbors told on me. I'm angry when you get your mother and I fighting I do not like to see you treat your mother the way you do. I was really angry at my mom at the time for enduring the abuse that she did because I didn't understand. I'm a little ashamed of that, but I have forgiven myself because my mother is a warrior. Okay. I get so angry when you treat family the way you do. I'm angry when you will not get away from the people that help you get into trouble. I'm very angry when I hear you talk back to elders. I was very mad to hear about note your mother talked about something sex. Sorry. I was very mad to hear about the note your mother said talked about sex. How has the previous list affected you? It has made me a little more aware of just how much Jenny has done to herself and what she has put her family through. How has the list of concerns affected your relationship with other members of the family? The list has affected the way, interesting. Marriage has changed in the past 1 to 2 years. I don't know what that said. What do you expect as a result of this evaluation? I would hope Jenny will see just how bad she is hurting herself and just it would do for the rest of her life. I would like to see her want a family more. What are you willing to do? I am willing to go through all the help and therapy that is needed to help Jenny bring herself together. I am willing to help her get back into schoolwork. What are you not willing to do? I'm not willing to continue to let her do drugs. I'm not willing to let Jenny throw away a good education. I'm not willing to let her break up any more relationships I might have with someone. I'm not willing to let you. So there's that. Yeah. Okay. That's my dad. Okay. My mom. And I want to I want to, I want to, um, I want to, so many times, Kat, in these papers, there's one, and I'll get to that soon. I didn't realize we were already at 48 minutes. I'm so sorry. Okay. So now we're going to go to my mom's share. Now, my mom didn't have a say in this, to be fair. I want you to notice this bio mother. Like she wasn't even okay. My mom, and this is from when I was living with her, fighting with me about going out with friends. Did happen. Skipping school did happen. Missing for hours with no reason did happen. I have seen her high at least twice. That is true. Concerned about sexual activity due to drugs. I understand why she would be concerned, but I was not active for another year after that. Not taking care of body needs. I don't really know what that's about. I do know that I grew up with my grandmother who was a depression baby. She was born in 1927, and she did not take regular showers. She would wash with a washcloth and take a shower like every 2 weeks or so because back during the war, they had to ration everything. I don't know if that's the reason. I don't know why. Fighting with teachers to get away from school. She found notes, letters, heard conversations about drinking, sex, money missing, her schoolwork, doing it so well and then throwing it away. Okay, this is really hard. All I ever wanted, I just want to make this clear, right? When I was a kid, all I ever wanted was to live with my mom. And nobody listened, nobody cared, nobody would let me. How has the previous list affected you? Jennifer has pulled away so much from me. She wants hardly anything from us but clothing and a ride somewhere. Because I was mad at my mom. I was mad at my mom about abuse that she endured, and that's really unfair, but okay. How has the list of concerns affected your relationship with other members of the family? It's been awful. I want her around, but no one else does. What are you willing to do? Anything I can do to help. What are you not willing to do? Right now, I can't say because there was nothing that she wouldn't do. But she wasn't allowed. She wasn't allowed. And it was true. She was the only person in my family and outer relatives that wanted anything to do with me. I was the black sheep of both families. It's a really good time. I'm sorry. I apologize. I use sarcasm and humor to try to make myself feel better. This is from my dad. Some of the stuff I don't want to show, because it's got other people's information, my dad's information, his wife at the time's information. I fought her left alone completely. She didn't know how to handle me. She had her own stuff going on, and I thought about for years reaching out to her to apologize, and at this point, I think it wouldn't even matter or make a difference for her. If anything, it might just hurt her. So maybe I'll just write a letter and then burn it or something. So thank you, Shannon. I'm sorry I went through this too, but right now, anymore, I'm not sorry anymore that I went through this because I get to make a change in the world, and it gives me back the 39 years that I lost just standing by, watching the world go by, and being an extra in the movie of my own life. Okay. So I will blast this woman's name. Unfortunately, she is no longer with us. She passed away in 2005. This woman, Joanne McCoy, was being paid. And I have proof of that because after I got out, I did need my mom, Janet. I did absolutely need my mom. After I got out and moved back in with my grandmother, because my father was advised not to let me live with him, and my mother wasn't in a position for me to live with her. But every time I ran away after I was released, I would run away to my mom. And then afterwards, when she wasn't fighting to let me stay with her, I just started running away. So Joanne McCoy, this woman ran a clinic, and I met a girl at Stevenson High School when I moved in with my grandmother. She came up to me and she said, I was sent to Fairview Deaconess by Joanne McCoy right after you, and they talked about you there and used you as an example. And I didn't have a drug problem either. She said, but I got lucky and I played along and I gave in to everything that they said. Well, I wasn't able to do that. But she did confirm for me, even at 15 years old, that this was real. I didn't imagine that I was being sent there. And I still always remembered that. I just wish I could remember her name so that I could reach out to her and talk to her now. So, okay, that's fine. So that's my name, my name. I was 14. I went to Churchill. My dad, not a really good speller, but he's great at math. I can't math, but I'm a really good speller. I didn't have a job, so I was 14. Okay. Is the behavior displayed by your child a noticeable change from behavior he or she has shown in the past, right here in front of my face, she is in the last 2 years become more and more defiant at home and at school. What chemicals do you know or suspect your child? Dust. They clicked dust. And that's because the principal knew that that joint was laced with PCP. PCP angel dust is all the same thing. Johnny, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. I'm not worried about it. I just appreciate you supporting me, man. Don't worry about it. You're awesome. Thank you. And if any of you don't know who Johnny Scoville is, check out Chase the Heat on YouTube. He is the Mac Daddy of the Chili Heads. If you're into hot stuff, also on Hulu, check out Super Hots, which is a series, and he is on that. Johnny is family. He's like a brother. I love that guy. Okay, so now we're at what age did your child start using? These questions I'm not sure of. Of course he wasn't sure because he wasn't paying attention. As a concerned parent, what do you hope to gain from your family involvement in the program? I hope that Jennifer will learn how much she is hurting herself now and for the future. I would also hope she would stop using the drugs. I would also hope she would learn to turn to her family for more help. I would also hope afterwards she would be able to make better decisions that would affect the rest of her life, such as school, work, family, etc. Joanne McCoy again. We love to call her out. Nope. Okay, so this is my dad's so-called admission of drug and alcohol use, which is pretty funny because it's not true. I mean, hard drug use. Well, no, you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. It's what he said. But he did drugs. He smoked weed for a long time. When he was in the Army, this is a true story. He tried LSD with his friends. He had a terrible trip. So he stopped, everything. But then as soon as it says he uses alcohol in moderation, and that's a matter of opinion at the time. And later times during his life, I don't judge him for that. I love him for that. I love him for getting through that. I love him for getting through his difficult times. Yeah, that's us. Wait, you know him too? Okay, that's just crazy. Nadia and Pika both amazing. Okay. Who referred you to our program? Joanne McCoy. Why? Because while in counseling, she found out how much she was into drugs. Now, that's what she told my dad. That is not. Oh yeah, and let's say this again. This is very important. And if you're triggered, you can go back. Oh, me? Oh, I thought you were talking about. Never mind. I thought you were talking about. Never mind. I was coerced. So I was confronted by her because my dad had told her what happened with the joint laced with PCP. And what happened to me and my two friends from smoking it. It was bad. It was a really bad, gross situation. And so based on that, she was convincing me that I had a drug and alcohol problem. I was smoking weed. I was drinking. I was smoking cigarettes. It's true. I was a kid. I was trying to numb the really horrific trauma and pain from my childhood even in the moment. Also at the time, my mother had a drinking problem. My mother very bravely quit in 2001, and I couldn't be more proud of her. And she waited a month before she told me because she wanted to be sure that it set in, and she has not had a drinking problem since. And it's one of the greatest blessings of my life. Okay, so now we know that she told my dad that I admitted to using drugs, but she told me that if I admitted to using drugs, that I could be sent away and get away from my parents. Yeah, that works. So messy. This industry is so messy that it's humorous. But what's not humorous is how many kids we have lost in programs and after programs. There are so many survivors who didn't. You understand what I'm saying? Once they got out, they didn't survive. I know, I'm sorry, Lala. You didn't. No, 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 no. I thought you were just giving a warning about if you're triggered, you can go. Okay. That's what I thought you meant. Why did you choose the adolescent chemical dependency program at this hospital? It was recommended very highly by Joey McCoy, who we have come to trust very much, more than his own daughter. Please describe the basic problem your child seems to experience. She has a complete breakdown of her behavior at home and school. She does very little of what she's told. Her grades have also dropped to E's. It's true. What has been done by you and other family members in an attempt to make the situation regarding your child more tolerable? My discipline of Jennifer has changed just recently because nothing seems to get her attention. We have also started counseling. I want you to understand what he means by my discipline of Jennifer has changed. Not just recently. Those two words could have gone away because nothing seems to get her attention. He's talking about corporal punishment. Do you feel that her problems are affecting other members of the family? She has caused a complete breakdown of my present marriage, and a divorce is now in progress. That was his answer. That third time so far? My dad has nothing to do with his 3 divorces, right? God, I hope he doesn't see this because I have a really good relationship with him and he'll take it all on. He doesn't understand. I don't know, maybe him watching this would help him understand. But anyway, what has your child's behavior been like at home? Please be as specific as possible. Jennifer is very defiant to all discipline. She does whatever she feels like doing. She has also driven my present life to the point that she feels nothing left but divorce. 4. What has your child's behavior been like in school? Academically, truancy, lower grades, achievements, etc. She has failed all classes this card marking. She shows no interest in anything, even things she was once very interested in. She cuts classes, is late a lot, and also skips school a lot. Okay, hang on, let's stop that screen. Let me catch my breath. I almost lost it there for a minute, but all y'all's support helped me with that. Thank you. Thank you for letting me get through that. This is really weird. And it's all BS. This is me. This is my writing. Client intake interview. Date of your last usage, April 9th, 1985. Why are you here? Because I feel I'm chemically dependent. What is the highest level of school completed? It wasn't 9th. The last level of school completed, the last grade I completed was 8th. I do have a GED. I got that a month before I turned 21 because I couldn't stand the thought of turning 21 without a GED and a high school diploma. It was impossible for me because I only had 3 high school credits. How long since you've been in school? 2 days. Would you like more schooling? Yes. I was not allowed schooling because I was always on restrictions, sitting on a bench with a sign around my neck that said no male contact. I just wanted to point that out while the other kids were in class. All of this is a lie. Like, I don't understand even what I was talking about. I was just scared. Favorite areas, drama and gym. Drama, yes, but it was drama and singing and dancing. I don't know. Have you ever been suspended or expelled from school? Yes. If so, for what? Skipping, Not serving detention. Did you cut classes? Yes. Which ones? All. What did you do when you cut classes? Go get high. Kind of. I went and hung out with my friends. And yeah, they were, some of them were very troubled and more into drugs and whatnot, but they treated me a hell of a lot better than my family did. Parents' names. Parents are divorced. Whom do you live with? Father. When did you last live with your parents? Yesterday. At the time, I had my sister, Melissa, who was 1.5. My half brother, my father's son, was not born yet. He wasn't born till I was 8. Have you seen your family? How do you see your family relationships? Very bad. Don't get along because I cause a lot of problems. Do you do any activities with your family? We go out once in a while, vacations, dinner. How do you see yourself in your family? I don't fit in. Do you like being with your family? Not really. Does it have a comfortable atmosphere? No. What people in your life mean to you the most? My dad, grandma, and sister. How do you spend your leisure time? Go out with friends, see movies. What are your hobbies? None. Who's the person you spend the most time with? My best friend, Dawn. If you had a really big problem, who would you share it with? Dawn. Do your friends come to your home? Yes. They didn't. Are any of your friends a lot older than you? Yes. Like 4, 5 years older than me. But I guess when you're 14, that doesn't matter. Or any, what plans do you have for your life? I want to be a gym teacher. I don't remember that ever at all. I think I was just writing things to just please them. I was very, I do remember that I was very against doing this. So, and there was a lot of screaming at me. So I just started. Treatment history. Have you received treatment and counseling for emotional problems and chemical dependency? Yes. If so, where I started seeing Jillian McCoy in January, and then by April, I was gone. Were you straight while you were there? No, not always. It's not true. 6 months, I obviously didn't know what I was talking about because it was only. Okay, so the next, have you ever been arrested? No. Are you on probation or parole? No. Have you been in jail? No. Which drugs have you used most heavily? Alcohol, pot, and speed. I don't, again, because of the one time with the PCP, it's so stupid. So if we look at this, right? So I clicked off alcohol, 6 to 8 beers, and whiskey. That was one time, by the way. Speed, check. Amphetamines, 2, 3. Now, if you're talking about like speed, like NoDoz, which was just caffeine pills, I did take those. That's true. Dust, hallucinogens. The dust was accidental. Hallucinogens I hadn't done yet. Marijuana, yes. But this 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 2 times hallucinogens, 1 time smoking. Like you see this? Like is a 14-year-old kid supposed to be in an alcohol and drug treatment program in a lockdown facility inside a hospital full of kids for this? No. What age did you start? 10. Not true. What chemical did you start with? Alcohol. Cigarettes was what I started with. Alcohol was second. How long have you used chemicals? 4 years. Have you ever overdosed? Yes. So there was a situation that happened where I took my mother, I took my stepmother's Tylenol 3 and ate the bottle. They didn't do anything. I didn't go to the hospital. Have you ever tried quitting chemicals? Yes. Okay, comments. The reason I came here on my own was because I knew I was chemically dependent. They forced me to say that. I was told to write those exact words because I wanted to tell the truth. That the reason that I came there was because I was told that it would help me, Really, I didn't mean for that to show. Shoot. You guys having a good chat in there? I hope so. Interesting. My boyfriend when I was 14 was 17. He was incredibly respectful. He didn't do anything inappropriate with me. We're actually still friends. He is one of the kindest, most lovely human beings I've ever known. And if I could have been a normal person, whatever that means, a regular person, I guess, and just been happy to stay in my town and get married and have babies and live that life, he would have been amazing. But he said something to me when I moved back home in 2018 that was so profound. He said, I just knew you were never going to stay and I was never going to leave. Man, you were so, he was, I don't know, he's a wonderful person. And hi, Mary. How are you? Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. All right, so we're going through my records here. Names. I should have redacted some of this stuff. So I think that what we're going to do is we're just going to stop this and talk now. I will do more later, but I need to do some redacting to protect others, especially my father. I don't want my father doxxed. He's not a bad man. He's a good man. There is such a thing as generational trauma, and parents are also victims of the troubled teen industry abuses because they're the ones with the money, or in my father's case, really good insurance because he was a teacher. So if anybody saw anything, I'm going to edit it out because I will be furious if anybody does that. So that is the first part of my share of my history at Fairview Deaconess Hospital. I didn't hit everything, obviously, but I need to get myself a little more organized so I don't make any mistakes again like that. I appreciate you for saying that. It was a lot. So I think that even if I didn't have to go in and redact, I would have probably stopped at this point anyway, because wow. So I love you, Nikki. And I know. Thank you. I'm brave because I don't see any other way, right? The only way to get through trauma or get over it is to be brave enough to turn around and walk back through it, unpack it, understand it, see it, believe what is real and what isn't real, and then leave it there and carry on. But I'm also advocating for the children that are in the troubled teen industry programs now, thousands of them in the U.S. alone, over 100 of which are in Utah. To any parents who are considering sending their children to troubled teen industry programs, I beg you to do your research and double check your research and triple check your research and go to unsilenced.org and read the story, please. Because the only way we're going to stop institutional child abuse and child trafficking is by speaking out and protesting and advocating and forcing legislation, forcing the government to care, state and federal, because they don't. They'll tell you all day, I don't care about parties. I don't talk about parties. I don't care. Not enough politicians. There are some. Federal, I can think off the top of my head of maybe 3 federal Congress people who care about what's happening. But I hear politicians, policymakers, influencers all the time, talking about how the children are the most important thing in this world, in this country, to all of us. Thanks. I appreciate you, Lala, for jumping on that. Well, I want them to put their legislation where their mouth is. I want to see a promise and a dedication to children that they're going to protect them from these institutions that are destroying us, completely breaking us. It's like sending us to boot camp for any of the armed services. And, especially the Marines, and they need to do this. And this is very true. When you go to basic training, right, they break you down, and they have to do that because you need to be of one mind when you're in the service, right? But they build you back up. And that's the thing that the troubled teen industry doesn't do. They break us down, and then they release us. Broken, lost, feeling like no one can relate to you. No one understands you. You don't fit in anywhere. It's embarrassing. My IQ versus my accomplishments, as you would, are so frustrating to me because I'd spent my entire life, my entire life, but especially my adult life, not being able to hold down a job, not being able to accept love and give love, not to trust, not to be able to have a good, healthy, intimate relationship, not ever experiencing that love, not being able to be brave enough to have children, which is something that I really wanted to do, was be a mother. But I couldn't because I couldn't. I thought that I was a terrible person and that I would destroy my children's lives. So I didn't do it. And being able to forge trusting friendships, right? And you will see this if you do and I'll share stuff myself of other people, but you'll see this with survivors of the troubled teen industry, also with Scientology, because we're very intertwined, and that's why I am speaking with so many of the Scientology survivors, because I believe that if we work together, that we can take the cult and the industry down. I really believe this. Girl, yes. 100%. What is this? We are kintsugi when we are able to find those who see us and still love us enough to help us come back to realizing we no longer have to stay broke. I see you, Jen, and I'm here for all of us. I see you too, Misha, and I'm obviously here for all of us. I'm willing to put myself through this continued pain because it has to end. I can't sleep at night because of these kids. So thank you for helping me, all of you, every single one of you. I have no idea how much you help me all the time. And yeah, this concludes this. I'm gonna conclude this. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Thank you. Mary, the times when I feel dumb and don't fit in, the people of the lifeboat have helped me so much. Love you all. Mary, you are not dumb, and you do fit in. And you are my friend, and I see you. And I love you. Know that. I'm sorry I haven't been around. I've been busy working on me and also helping Will out with his Film the Police LA with my sisters in here. If any of my TLB people don't recognize that weren't in here before, Peekaboo, Good Girl, Joanna, where are we? Who else is in here? Oh, Deb, Joanna, Christy. I don't think Christy made it because she was working. But yeah, my family there. Nadia, thank you. Nadia is also one of my people. We moderate for Will or Streets LA, and also run his Discord server. Good girls and guys. It's a really great time over there. Here, this is very important. No, I mean, thank you, Mary. That is very important. A resident streaker. I love you, though. I don't care. We're going streaking in the quad. This is important. I want to read this from Cosmic Christie. I'm never going to be quiet again. And last night I realized I can talk about my story because it's not my shame and I can't defame someone for the truth. Yes, sister. Yes. And you're welcome to come on here and talk about your truth anytime you like. You have a standing invitation. Oops, I did that again. Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. I forgot to take a picture. I'll do that tonight. So Mary lives in Ohio, and she was in the path of totality of the last eclipse, and I'm an eclipse freak, I guess, ever since. Well, actually, I realized that it was since I was in middle school and there was an eclipse, and I was the only kid outside. I don't know why. I was so excited. So excited. It's okay. You don't have to come on. I was just letting you know that if you wanted to, you could. That's all. I support you no matter what. I'm just telling you. But I was going to go down to Mary's to see the full eclipse. But I had, I think it was like 90, 96, 97% here. It was pretty awesome. But in 2017, I lived in Nashville, and for that one in the path of totality, and it was amazing. So weird. And I am weird, and I love weird things. And she was shopping one day, and she got me this amazing t-shirt that says Totally Obsessed, Eclipse 2024. And she bought that for me, and because I didn't make it down, she mailed it to me, which I am so touched by. I so appreciate you, Mary. I love that shirt. I wear it all the time. And I appreciate it. And I will look at this. This is love. This is love. And Misha is also partly one of my inspirations as well, Christy. My version of saying, oh, thank you. Oh, I have no idea why. It's a quirk, but I'd be happy to come on from then. Okay, yeah, you're absolutely welcome to. I have to start getting used to doing regular live streams. I have to figure it out around other live streams and away from keyboard life as well, right? So I do want to do this thing really quick though before I do log off, because I do want opinions on whether or not we like my intro or if I should change it. So thoughts, opinions? I just thought it was kind of cool. Love you too. Lala. Anyway, you like it? Okay. Awesome. Okay. Yay. I'll keep it. And as always, oh shoot. See, I am really bad at this backwards thing. As always, this is my past. This is my present. And that is my future. I'm so excited. And I'm so excited to have you all along with me. I'm going to sign out now. And I want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here, for supporting me, for supporting the cause, and for supporting each other. And lastly, if we do one good thing for one person today, and we all do that, and we do it every day, we might change the world. At least I hope so. I wish you all a wonderful night. I love you. Take care of each other and yourselves. Always put yourself first. I'll see you soon. Good night.